Good evening. My name is Sophia Capria. I'm 20 years old and was an active addict from the time I was 12 until I came to Phoenix House when I was 17. I was not a happy child. I had a hard time fitting in and was often picked on at school for my weight. That had a lot to do with why I started using drugs. When I was 12, I became curious about drugs, and from the first time I used, I was hooked. I felt like I had finally found the only thing in the world that could truly make me happy. Soon, I was drinking and smoking pot every day. Within a year, I was into prescription pills. At 14, I was doing cocaine. Not long after, LSD and ecstasy became my drugs of choice. I was still the object of ridicule at school, and even my drug use couldn't numb the self-loathing I felt. Eventually, I developed a severe eating disorder. At 5'4", I dropped down to 85 pounds. Despite the change in my appearance and all the praise I got for how great I looked, I was still miserable. I became severely depressed and developed an extreme form of obsessive-compulsive disorder. I was admitted to treatment for anorexia, where I began to eat regularly again and got back to a healthier weight. As soon as I felt better, I went straight back to drugs. My family became aware of my drug use. I hated my parents for trying to stop me from using, but I hated myself most of all. I was smoking pot and doing pills, LSD, and ecstasy every day. I was stealing money from my family and pushing the ones I loved away. At 15, I was arrested for underage drinking and resisting arrest, with a breathalyzer reading 20 times the legal limit. Finally, after a blowout fight with my parents, I threatened suicide, was taken to the hospital, and entered a long-term addiction treatment program. That's how I entered the Phoenix Academy, furious and defeated. I felt physically, mentally, and spiritually broken. My first few weeks in treatment were rough. I was so frustrated because I couldn't seem to grasp the rules of the program. I wanted to do things right, but felt I kept failing. Then, one day, something clicked. I looked within myself and discovered what was driving my addiction. My poor self-esteem, loneliness, anger, and fear of change. From that point on, I put every ounce of my effort into treatment. I was able to uncover my darkest defects, break them down, and build myself anew. I came to accept and love myself for who I am, and came to terms with the fact that there is nothing in the world that I can change but myself. This left me with an undying desire to fight every single day for my sobriety, my recovery, and my life. After treatment, coming back to the real world and starting school was difficult, but I had gained the tools to take care of myself. I cut ties with all the old friends I once used drugs with. I built myself a sober support network and remained focused on myself and my recovery. I returned to Phoenix House to share my story and began working there as a volunteer counselor. I graduated from high school and was accepted at George Mason University. I am now in my junior year, majoring in psychology, and have maintained a 3.42 GPA. Thank you. I have a full-time job, and I've been in a healthy relationship for over a year. I've been clean and sober for 3.5 years now. I've learned how to accept my strengths and my weaknesses, my achievements and my faults. I've learned not to sweat the small things and try my best to never take life for granted. My love, appreciation, and gratitude for all that Phoenix House has and continues to give me is beyond words. This amazing program truly saved my life. I'd like to thank my family, my mom and dad who are here tonight. They've never given up on me, and I know that they never will. One of the greatest things I've gained in recovery is our renewed relationship. Without them, I would not be alive and well today. Thank you.